In the world of paragliding, we have seen a lot of different crazy ideas to do in the air. A man flying in bed, a flying dog, even last week eating Chipotle whilst flying. But this is something new. The Suet YouTube channel released a video with a DJ flying on a tandem paragliding flight, with the DJ table mounted to the harness, able to play club music straight from the air. Just listen to this. When I was a DJ in the 1980s, my equipment would hardly fit inside my car, never mind on the front of a paraglider. What a great feel-good start to the show. My name's Regan Tetlow and this is Air Sports News. But before we begin, please remember to click like, share and subscribe to our content. And for the first time ever, we're introducing our Patreon. So from now on, you can support us by becoming a co-founder of the show. We have some great ideas to say thank you in case you want to help us and support our job and keep us on the air. Just find a link to the Patreon in the post description and come and join in our family. Let's begin. Okay, so we are staying in the world of paragliding, having some really important news for this community. First one is fresh details from the 5th FAI Pan American Paragliding Championships, which is taking place in Governador Valadares in Brazil, one of the most beautiful and flyable locations to do paragliding on Earth. 130 pilots from 10 nations are competing for the title. The youngest competitor is just 21 years old, while the oldest is 66. The nation that has the biggest number of pilots is Brazil, but Argentina and the USA have also presented a significant number of participants. In the first task, Chao Bozzarello took the lead position after a tough 71-kilometer task. Second was Rafael Saladini, and third, Lucas Adriano Rudiga Ribas. All pilots are from Brazil. In the female class, Brazilian Isabella Salles won the task, being a bit faster than Galen Kirkpatrick and Violeta Jimenez from the USA. Second task was a bit longer, 84 kilometers with a midday takeoff, and this time in the male category, Rafael Saladini from Brazil was the fastest and Galen Kirkpatrick was the fastest woman on the way. Whilst recording these words, the pilots were flying the third 56-kilometer task, and so far the best team is Brazil, before USA and Argentina. In next week's show, we'll give you the final results. Tomorrow, the Monte Grappa Trophy contest begins in Italy. It will last until the 18th of April on this most beautiful Italian Alps spot for paragliders. 149 pilots confirmed their participation in this contest, which is even more than flying in the Pan American Championships right now. But here, most of the pilots come from Europe. The main organiser is Aero Club Lega Pelotti from San Miro and Volo Liberto Monte Grappa. If you're looking for a thrilling, out-of-the-ordinary experience, you just need to fly here. Monte Grappa is considered one of the best launch pads in Europe and is just a short distance from the high peaks of the Alps with outstanding thermal and ridge conditions around the place. And what is really heartwarming is that 40 of the pilots on the grid are women. Come on, girls. An estimated 400 athletes from all over the world have just been competing at the world-class facility situated just 40 minutes south of Brussels, Belgium, during the FAI 4th World and 2nd European Indoor Skydiving Championships. They fought for the World Cup and European Championship titles in four-way formation skydiving, vertical formation skydiving, dynamic and freestyle. The full results can be found on the worldskydiving.org website, but here we want to focus on one country. Singapore's indoor skydivers clinched 4 gold medals. It's one of the biggest successes for one team ever. The young team, comprising of Kira Po, Kai Minjanama Lee, Vera Po, Isabel Ko and Jordan Lee, won in all 4 of the categories that they competed in. Freestyle solo in the open, freestyle solo in the junior, two-way dynamic in the junior speed and free of course, and four-way dynamic in the junior speed. Despite strong competition, they managed to achieve gold in the most number of categories this year. The Singapore team have been preparing for this competition for a long time and faced stiff competition against many talented athletes hailing from countries all across the globe. The team say it takes a village to prepare, and former champion and competitor Ishan Chu has been working closely with the team on the run-up to the championships. I caught up with them all on the morning after the awards ceremony. Congratulations to all of you, 4 incredible gold medals. Thank
you so much.
Wow. I think I want to start with Ishan, who was there, who we've known for many, many years now, competing with Kira. And Ishan, who's been massively involved in this with coaching and helping to bring it all together. Ishan, first of all, how was it for you in this role instead of competing?
I think it was obviously leading up to the competition. The kids was training really hard. So for myself as well as a competitor, I could really a lot to them. So I had a both perspective of how I need to coach and how I should understand them. So at the start, it was really hard for me to be really strict with them as well, because I understand how they're feeling leading up to the competition. So it was like a learning curve for me, trying to coach them, and so it was very
definitely it's a different experience.
Yeah, it was very
right?
different
because she's so used to just competing. So to have the stress from the other side, to actually watch them fly and not be able to control how they go. She was clenching onto my hand, and she was like, please.
So it was praying, because that's the only thing I could do at the other end while they are competing.
It was quite funny. When the 4-way was flying, she was like, okay, up a little bit, down a little bit, wider, smaller. So it was super fun.
Yeah, and at the end of the round, the judges reviewing our videos, and we were just standing there just to wait first. And I looked over at Auntie Carol, just Kira and Bra's mom, and Ishan, and she's telling me pray.
The full-length interview is now available on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click like, share, and the notification button. And don't forget that we're on Patreon now, where you can support our work and become part of our community. Thank you so much. The Husky National Stall Series demo drew thousands of spectators at Paradise City, the grass strip at Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo 2022 in Lakeland, Florida, to watch their favourite social media influencers, pilots and others up close as they demonstrated their capabilities of the machines and their piloting skills in the challenging wind conditions. As a demo competition only, there were no class divisions, and airplanes were sorted more by their cruise speeds in the pattern to limit an unnecessary amount of go-arounds. There were manufacturers' demos, aircrafts mixed with regular stall competitors. Even a powered hang glider and a gyroplane entered the mix for the very first time. It was a great exhibition of light, sport, experimental, stall, paramotor and bush aircraft. In the world of skydiving, there's been numerous attempts to break 100-way records in many categories, but this one is really unique. 110 skydivers over 60 years of old. Sounds unique? It is. It's the SOS Skydivers over 60. From the 7th to the 10th of April, over 100 skydivers from across the globe, aged from 60 to 78 years of age, attempted a new world record by creating a giant freefall formation in the skies of Skydive Paris, California. To do so, they jump simultaneously from 5 different aircraft and exceed speeds of 120 miles an hour as they take grips in a specific and predetermined order. They had less than 60 seconds to complete the breathtaking 150-foot diameter snowflake-like figure before flying away from each other to open their parachute safely. They almost had the record, just one grip missing. But big respect for showing the sport in such a positive way. We have this amazing trailer, and you can check the results on the Skydive Paris Facebook fan page. Lauda Aerobatics, a company focused on preparing the first ever eVTOL racing series, released a first episode of the Inside Allura show, which is presenting the most interesting aspects of this new era of aviation sport. In the first episode of Inside Allura, CEO Matt Pearson looks back at Airspeeder's successes of 2021 and early 22, from the partnerships with AWC and Telstra to the EXA series drag race and recruitment of the first pilots. Matt also reviews progress on the Aloda Mark III flight program and how it has rapidly advanced towards the first remotely flown flying car. eVTOL races in Airspeeder's 2022 EXA series International Grand Prix. You can learn a bit more about this series also from our special guest interview with Lexi Jensen we made 3 weeks ago, and you can find it on our YouTube channel. My second special guest this week has been active in hot air ballooning competition for many years now, winning the national championships in 1995 and again in 2006. Serves as a designated pilot examiner for both fixed wing as well as LCA, as well as being an avid instructor in both. He has been extremely involved with the FAA in many areas and served as the BFA liaison to the FAA during the Lockhart investigations. Now he's the president of the Ballooning Federation of America and has some interesting stories to share. Let's catch up with Pat Cannon. You're in Kansas City right now, right?
Yes, we're visiting family here in Kansas City. We just came back from the BFA's convention and symposium. The symposium was a wonderful event.
Tell me a bit about the conversation about how to put on events. What was discussed? What you're trying to help people with there?
Well, there are a lot of technical aspects of putting on events, and a lot of them are regulatory. The regulations do specify certain types of things that you must do for events. For example, if you're going to have a competition, you should have a waiver issued by the FAA. That allows balloons to come closer to the surface around crowded areas in order to provide at least a certain amount of additional safety so the balloons are not too close overhead when they're passing over cloud line, for example, going to a target. There are also emergency plans that must be written. These emergency plans are very important because the FAA wants to know that you're prepared for any type of incident that might happen, whether it be something that happens with the balloon or something that happens in the crowd.
Yeah. Your ballooning, it goes back a long way. I mean, you've recently, when did you become the president of the BFA?
I was elected president of the BFA at Albuquerque event back in October this last year. Prior to that, I had been on the board as an at-large director. My job really started with the BFA as their liaison and contact with the federal government. I have been working with the FAA for many, many years, and not for the FAA, but working with the FAA in different capacities. And the whole conversation with Pat is already uploaded on our Air Sports Promotion YouTube channel. Don't forget to check it out there and give it a click and a share. Thanks, guys. So most of our reports about FPV drones is related to air racing, nice FPV videos around the world, or just some cool fun. But what about involving FPV flying in a fully professional Hollywood movie? Jordan Temkin and Alex Vanover proved it's possible. Needing money to cover his wife's medical bills, a decorated veteran teams up with his adoptive brother to steal $32 million from a Los Angeles bank. However, when their getaway goes spectacularly wrong, the desperate thieves hijack an ambulance that's carrying a severely wounded cop and an EMT worker. Caught in a high-speed chase, the two siblings must figure out a way to outrun the law whilst keeping their hostages alive. This is the base of the new Michael Bay movie where tens of amazing FPV drone shots were used. They hired two of the best pilots in the world, Jordan Emkin and Alex Vanover, to work on stage with stuntmen amongst explosions and high-speed chases. And you can watch this behind-the-scenes video showing the drone pilot's job on the Potato Jet YouTube channel. Our last news item this week is fresh video from our favourite German sailplane pilot Stefan Langer, who released a fresh video from his last trip to France, where he made an amazing 450-kilometre flight towards Mont Blanc, the highest European mountain in the French Alps. Take a look. Okay, it's time for our Hall of Fame section. Let's get into it. On the 10th of April 1933, Francesco Allego flew the Monte MC-72, the first of 5 floatplanes in the series, over a 3-kilometer course to set a new FAI world record of 682.08 kilometers per hour. On the 10th of April 1972, Roy Windover set an FAI world record for altitude when he flew an Interstate Cadet S1A to an altitude of 9,388 meters over Pikes Peak Mountain in the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains near Colorado Springs, Colorado. On the 11th of April 1934, Renato Doniti flew a modified Milano Caprini 2-place biplane named Alta Quota from Montecelio Airport outside of Rome to an FAI world record altitude of 14,433 meters. Donati was prepared for the flight with a special pressurized suit made of rubberized fabric. On the 11th of April 1952, the first YH-21 tandem rotor helicopter made its first flight. The test pilots were Leonard Joseph Lavassier and Martin Johnson, both former US Navy aviators. The YH-21 could reach a maximum speed in level flight of 131 knots, and it was known as the weirdest rotorcraft. That's it for this week. Don't forget that from today you can become a patron of Air Sports News, supporting the show and our special guest interviews. You can find all the details below in the description. Let's get your name on the screen. We want to see who you are. Come and join us. I'm leaving you with some amazing shots from Michael Segal from this year's Paragliding World Cup in Brazil. See you next week, guys. Don't forget to stay safe and keep your eyes on the skies.